boots on ground, serve with pride, never back down from the fight. Deserts and the city streets, we keep pushing through the night. Battle tested, battle ready, earn respect through blood and sweat. Unapologetic veterans, and we ain't finished yet. Veterans speaking truth, real stories, breaking down the walls, tearing through the lies. This is our time to rise. From the Corps to the Army, Navy, Air Force to Coast Guard, standing ready, red, white, and blue. No filter on the mic, just the truth we bring. Welcome to the show where the real vets sing. Unapologetic veterans, turn it up loud. We serve, we fought, we stand proud.
Welcome, everybody, to the Unapologetic Veterans podcast. I'm your host, Josh, and this is Dr. James, the new official co-host of the show. How's it going?
Good. First of all, can you see me? I tried sharing this, but it looks like I got caught in some kind of OODA loop.
Yes, everybody can see you.
Okay.
Everybody on the internet can see you.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Actually, that's not true. It's only people that are watching that can see you. Those of us that listen via audio only, shout out Spotify and Apple Podcast, they cannot see you.
Well, thank God for filters, right?
So we're 11 days into 2026. How are we feeling about the year?
For me, very good. I mean, there's a lot of hope. So my wife and I, we do something crazy. Every year, we sit and take about a week and chart what 2026 is going to look like for us, right? Well, last year, 2025, this year, 2026. And we hit the spiritual, financial, physical, emotional, all the aspects of what we want to see for successes for 2026. And 2026 is looking really good for the Cook family.
Hell yeah, that's what we like to hear. All that prosperity.
Right? Not a name and claim it, don't get me wrong. But I'll tell you, Habakkuk 2:2 says, and I don't want to proselytize, but Habakkuk 2:2 says, write a vision, and he that reads it will run with it. And so just write it, make it plain. And so that people that so when my wife reads my vision and I read her vision, we run with it. And it's a plan, it's a game plan that charts us for success. And you and I both know, being in the military, it's called PACE. You have your primary mission, your alternate mission, your contingency mission, your emergency mission. And so our primary mission is this. And if something happens, we pivot, we go to our alternate. If that doesn't work, contingency. Hell, COVID struck. That became the emergency, right?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? And that's how we focus almost every decision we do in our family.
Hell yeah. That's a good way to do it right there. Set yourself up for success, so for now and later down the road. So a couple of things that we wanted to go over. Everything's not feng shui right now, and I don't like it. A couple of things that we wanted to go over is what 2026 is going to look like for the Unapologetic Veterans podcast. And I'm not going to lie, pretty excited. Got some things starting to line up, some visions coming into play that I don't want to say weren't there last year, but are a lot more obtainable this year.
Well, last year was a good foundation. Let's springboard off of that into this year.
Yes. Speaking of last year, let's see. Not year. I go back to a little over a year. So for the last year, we had 296 total downloads of the podcast. And that is broke up by 9 different episodes, I believe. I think it's 9. Nope, I'm sorry. 15. 15 total episodes. And 73% of those episodes were listened to on Apple Podcasts. So sorry, Spotify. And then of those, 282 of those were downloaded within the confines of the United States of America. Any guesses on the next? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next 8. Any guesses?
The next 8 of downloads, like countries that download.
Mm.
Oh my gosh! Knowing you and your background, the first one will be China.
China is not on here.
Okay. Well, then let's go. Let's go European. Let's go UK.
I'll give it to you. Germany's on here.
Okay.
Germany has 2.
Germany has 2 downloads.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, sorry, Finland. Finland is on there too. They have 1.
How about Japan? Or Okinawa?
Japan has 1.
Okay. Abu Dhabi or any of those areas?
No. You're more close with. So there's 2 on here that are more close to the UK than anywhere else, and then there's 1 that's somewhat centrally located to the United States, and then there's the last one is way out there.
Way out there, like Antarctica out there.
Kind of, yeah.
Gosh, there are some people that are sitting in some kind of like shanty on some frozen island somewhere and saying, I got to listen to Josh. I'm trying to figure.
So we have, okay, I'll go down the list. So next after the US is Singapore with 5.
Okay.
Then you have Austria with 2.
Austria. Okay.
Germany with 2.
Okay.
Here's the one that's way out in left field. This is Australia with 1. And then the next 4 each have 1 individually. Belgium, Canada, Finland, and then to round out is Japan.
Okay. So I guess the big surprise for me of all that is Belgium.
Yeah. I don't know. Singapore makes sense. There's a lot of scam artists in Singapore. Sorry if you're not a scammer and you listen to the show, but just saying.
Okay.
All right, so the last 30 days. We're basically starting the year fresh. I mean, in the last 30 days we've had, let's do last week because there's only 11 days. And in the last 7 days we've had 13 downloads.
Okay. Now you have to help a new guy out in the podcast. Downloads are good?
Yes, downloads are good.
Okay. So when I did my doctorate, to your point, in November, people download your dissertations if you publish it. And I published mine. In November of 2025, I reached 1,000 downloads.
That's insane.
It is insane. So 1,000 people thought I should read this shit. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss? I
Yes.
should read. I can't sleep, and I need a cure for insomnia.
I mean, what was your dissertation on?
So, oh gosh, you had to pull that chain, didn't you?
Absolutely.
So the title of, it's Leveraging Social Capital to Escape Generational Poverty. I did a qualitative study, a phenomenological study, grounded theory, to come up with my own theory on why people will escape generational poverty. And I came up with what's called this intentional social capital construct theory. Intentional social capital construct, meaning you design an intervention that's outside the norm of what that person is growing up with, right? To escape generational poverty. And I have a good book to read, and it's what really launched me on my focus, is a book called The Other Wes Moore, written by Wes Moore, who's now the governor of Maryland. And he grew up in Baltimore, and he had another Wes. He's a Rhodes Scholar. He read an article one day in the newspaper about Wes Moore had his like third or fourth felony. He's in prison and whatever. And so he's like, and he looked at where the guy's from. He's like, that's my neighborhood. Turns out he grew up a block away.
Oh, wow.
So he said, why? Why would a block away this guy go in the life of drugs and incarceration, et cetera, and I go military and Rhodes Scholar, et cetera? What was different? So what he did is he went to the prison and he had meetings with him and he interviewed him to find out what the social, cultural, socioeconomic metrics were that he faced versus this Wes Moore. And he wrote a book, The Other Wes Moore, and it is an incredible book. And so when I was deciding where I was going to go in my dissertation, I wanted to do something on mentorship. And I found that this was a mentorship program, or studied mentorship, but it got them out of, it leveraged them out of social, or out of generational poverty. So how's that for a mouthful?
Sounds like I need to do some light reading at night.
Well, if you're a veteran, you have trouble sleeping at night, download.
I mean, to be fair, I know Stephen hasn't wrote his dissertation yet, but I've read his, if he intends to keep it.
Right. For his master's.
No, this was something completely different.
Oh, never mind.
Next time y'all are together, you'll have to call me and I'll have to bring it up to see if he can remember what I'm talking about. It's nothing that we need to talk about now, though. I can promise you that. It is kind of
that
funny.
Part.
I think I have a copy of it. I'm pretty sure he sent it to me. I'll have to look. But no, so while you were telling us what your dissertation was about, I was doing some numbers. So we did 15 episodes last year. 15. So this is episode number 1 of 2026. My goal, or for the goal, let me rephrase it. The goal for the show is to do at least 5 times that. So that's 75 episodes. That's about 1.5 a week.
Okay.
Give or take. So that is my goal for 2026, is to do 5 times as much as we did last year. So on the download, I was a little bit more conservative. I didn't do a full 5 times, because 5 times would have been 1,200, but I did 1,000 total downloads. That's my goal for next year, is 1,000 total downloads for the show across any platform. And I do plan to add Amazon Prime. I guess they have a podcast platform or host as well. I'm going to try to get in on that. I basically wanted 5 times what we did last year, this year, which is going to be a little bit challenging, but I think it's extremely doable. I think it's extremely doable. The numbers are there. The data's there. One of the other things that I want to do is we had 100. I'm going to write this down. We had 169 total subscribers on our YouTube channel for last year. We've got another one since we've started this show.
I wonder who that is.
Right. But so we've had 169. My goal is to be, now YouTube's a lot more difficult to gain. So if we do, so my goal is going to be 600 by the end of the year.
On YouTube. Okay. What other platforms?
That's really all right now. I mean, there is a Facebook for Unapologetic Veteran that has. Let's pull it up. So the Unapologetic Veterans Facebook page, and it is at Unapologetic Veteran, has 47 followers. Like to get that above 500. I'm doing this live, so it holds us accountable.
Absolutely.
All right, so 500. And Instagram has 44. And that is also at Unapologetic Veteran. And I would like that to be at 500 as well.
What about TikTok?
So TikTok is a thing. There is an Unapologetic Veterans podcast TikTok channel. I have lost access to it. I need to regain access to it. I believe that was over 1,000 followers. I'd like to see that somewhere around 5,000 as well.
Okay. And I think in order to monetize, it should be at 10,000. So can I push for 10?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that. Let's change that to 10.
Yeah, so YouTube, the reason I said 600 is YouTube's the same way. You have to be at least 500 subscribers on YouTube to monetize. There's some other metrics. You have to have 3 videos a month. Actually, here I'll tell you. You have to have 3 video uploads every 90 days. And one of the following: 3,000 valid public watch hours in the last year, and or 3 million views of the YouTube shorts in the last 90 days. And that has to be consistent. So you can't just hit, well, the easiest one is the valid watch hours, but that means we'd have to do episodes and you'd have to watch it from start to finish for it to count. You have to watch it a full hour. The short, it's like 75% of the short, and you're talking about 3 million views. That's roughly 10 million views on YouTube to get that. Roughly, I'm not an expert, but but that's where we're at on YouTube. So again, to monetize on YouTube, you have to have 500 and one of the following. That they say the easiest to obtain for people with long form content, which is what we have, is the 3,000 valid watch hours.
Okay. And that's 3,000 within a year, within a month,
within a year. So
okay.
Let's do some math here. So if you take 75 episodes, okay, so 75 hours. All right, so 3,000. That means somebody would have to watch, if they were all an hour long, somebody would have to watch each episode 40 times.
That's not to your point. One of the episodes that we're planning, one of the series that you and I are planning to do, that alone should bring it across that finish line, right?
Yes. And that's actually on my list to go over. Yes. I actually have 2 series that I need to go back and finish that I never finished. But yes, that particular series should hopefully drive a lot of traffic to this. Well, now that I've got all the social media pages pretty much covered, let's dive into that. So,
but hold on, before you do, there's one more thing I want to talk about, if it's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Sponsors.
Yes, we need sponsors.
Okay. And to that point, since we're military centric, military friendly, veteran friendly, those type of people or organizations or corporations that focus on veterans is ones that we should focus on.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, so and that kind of goes both ways. Um, Obviously, we would like sponsors to help sponsor the show to allow us to bring up some of the other stuff that we want to do. But one of the things that I want to do as well is take some of those programs that may not be able to sponsor financially or some other way, but sponsor them on the show and get their voice out there, get their message out there, let the people know who they are, what they're about. Um, name recognition, get them out there. I had FSH on. They're phenomenal dudes, phenomenal guys, and what they're doing is great. It's a great message. And matter of fact, I'd like to have them on again. I've had Lance on twice.
Yeah.
But get Ty back on. McNubbs for all of you people that know him.
Good message. Good people. Very positive. Absolutely, I think something that we all should, at least if we don't listen to on the regular, listen to once in a while to
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
reset. Yeah.
And we just got another follower on YouTube.
Outstanding.
We're now at
Mission
171.
Rally. I'm intrigued now. Okay.
Yes.
So Mission Rally Point is they're a group on TikTok that we follow that, again, it goes back to the veterans. It's a safe place not a safe place. I don't know if that's the right word. It's definitely a place where veterans can go and feel comfortable to talk. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of good conversations. So if you're on TikTok, and forgive me for doing this unsolicited endorsement, go follow Mission Rally Point.
The solicited follow.
That's right.
Speaking of that, but that's people like that are some of the people that we'd like to have on the show, and to touch on that. If you know anybody who wants to be on the show, anybody who wants to get their message out there, has a message to share, you can reach out to Dr. James. You can reach out to the podcast directly. And, we'll set up a conversation and, go over, unless it's somebody that we know, but go over what your goal is with that. I will be coming up with a form that you can click on that'll basically, you can put all your information in and it'll auto email the both of us a submission form that kind of answers all those wickets, right? Because some people these days you can't be too sure about.
That's the truth. All right, so I interrupted you so rudely about some episodes that you wanted to go over. What are those?
So one of the ones that I need to finish is, now that you asked me, I forgot the name of it. Accountability. So I started a mini series called Accountability, and I need to add and compound onto that mini series, right? There's some more stuff that I didn't necessarily finish going over with that, but finishing that out, and then another follow-up one that I'd like to do. So I had Brandon with Warsworn and Iron Valor Studios on, and I'd like to get him back on because I interviewed him in June. Yeah, June. So get him back on to go over and update how things are going with that, because I think that's a pretty cool thing that him and those guys are doing. So, and then outside of that, that sums up any outstanding stuff that I have not finished. I need to write that down because I will forget, but allows me to open to the next thing. So one of the things we are going to do sometime this year is we have a pretty big series that we're going to do with a couple of people, at least 2 right now confirmed, regarding trafficking. And I will let you kind of go over that a little bit more since you're kind of spearheading this.
Sure. You, I don't know if you've ever seen, if anybody's ever seen the statistics on trafficking. Now, trafficking is a huge problem in the U.S. You would never think about it being in the U.S., but Tim Tebow did a video and he put all the dots on where all the trafficking incidents have happened in the U.S. Trafficking happens all over the world. So we have found some experts that are going to come on to the podcast, and we're going to do, right now it's a series of 3 in the episodes, but it could be more. One person is going to come on and talk about all the evidence that they gather and how they gather the information and how they present it to the law enforcement agencies, depending on the agency, depending on the style, because there's several types of trafficking. There's sexual, there's labor, there, etc. So there's that one person. We also have somebody who's fought trafficking in Afghanistan. She worked for the DOD, and well, now Department of War, but back then the DOD. And she worked in Afghanistan for 2 years combating human trafficking. Most of that is labor, but she'll talk about her experiences there. And then the third person is actually 2 people that are going to come on and talk about their experiences of being trafficked. They were abducted, they were groomed, and trafficked. And so their stories to it. So we don't know which order that's going to happen, but we do know that all 3 of those episodes will happen, if not more. And I don't know about you, Josh, but I'm thinking that we'll probably hit a timeline between February and March for that. And I think that'll be very interesting, because I'll tell you that for some of these people that I spoke to, if they could stop it today, if they won the $1.7 billion lottery, they would have done all their resources to fight trafficking to end it today.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Probably closer to March if I had to guess, but
Okay.
But yeah, somewhere in that time frame. And I don't know. It'll happen. I promise. We'll make it happen. Kind of piggybacking off that. So the series thing, it's something that we're going to do outside of the normal, whether it be bi-weekly or once a week or however it end up shaking out, episodes. This is something different that kind of ties real life and real world into our niche in community. And you'll see, I'm not going to go into too many more details, but everybody can see how from these stories and these people's testimonies, basically, how it actually can apply to the community that we're all a part of. For those of us that are listening that are in the veteran community anyways, how it kind of works in both ways. It's not just, oh, well, I was in this kind of childhood or in this environment, or, I was here, I was there. It could happen anywhere in the world at any given moment for any reason. And I'm super excited for that. With that, one of the things that we are going to do new this year is the more than one episode a week. Hopefully every week. There may be a couple weeks where we either one of us have things going on that don't allow that. We'll make it up. But, like I said, the goal is 75. So we only have so much room to play with, not being able to do an episode. So I'm going to stick to that. One of the other things that I'd like to do moving forward this year is some in-person episodes. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to fly to where Dr. James is at, or he's going to fly here and we're going to do them together. That is a plan or a goal for this year, but it's Like I got a guy that I went to boot camp with. We served together. He's going to come up here from Texas and be on the show. I'm not going to interview him here. We'll probably go somewhere and do something, but some in-person interviews with people. I'd like to do some more of those. With that goes into some of these events. If time allows and things allow, I'd like to be able to go to some of these nonprofit events, these sponsored events for our community, in while we're there highlighting the event, interview some of the folks that put these events on, whether it be from the actual nonprofit or some of the support staff that put these events on. A lot of these people that do both run, support, put these events on are phenomenal people across the board. And they all have a story too. It doesn't be, oh, I woke up and I said, I'm going to start this nonprofit. Maybe they're not able to. Maybe they're just able to support. But their story matters just as much as the person who started the nonprofit. Sometimes the support guy's story matters more. And so I'd like to highlight some more of that and kind of dive further into that throughout the year.
I like it.
Yeah, I've got some pretty ambitious goals.
I think what is it? You're just cutting the surface.
Yeah.
I don't, to that point. So when you said that, the first thing that came to my mind are the veteran link ups. So there are a lot of veteran groups that are trying to figure out how to do these social organizations, whether they meet through TikTok or Facebook or whatever, and how to meet, because they get along virtually. Can they get along realistically, right? Face to face, right?
Right.
Because I look a lot different here than I do in person, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could recognize me. But the point is that we are, and this is another paradigm that we can investigate. How come we can become so friendly virtually, but we're so, especially those of us that have been in the service or been to combat or been to whatever, how do we have such a difficult time doing it personally? But so there are organizations that I've seen, especially on TikTok and Facebook, that are trying to do veteran meetups to where that they can come together and go bowling or horseback riding, or like Sean Nautical Salutes and do, go on the ocean or a river or whatever, go boating and fishing. So I think that's something to explore too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that is that is phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely. I seen a video from one of Sean's expeditions where somebody got thrown into the water that was filled with alligators.
With reflective belts. Don't forget, safety first.
Yeah, safety. I guess safety third. I don't have my glow strap laying around anywhere. Yeah. No. Nope. Sorry. I'll let him keep that. And then one of the other things that we're going to try to do is kind of branch out from this everyday same content as well. So I am going to have a deer hunter.
Okay.
And so one of the things is to do some hunting and fishing and outdoors stuff like that with veterans. Get hunters on. Let's hear about your trophy hunts. I know there's a lot of organizations that take vets hunting, fishing, kayaking. I don't know. There's shooting helicopters out of hogs, or hogs out of helicopters.
Now you got my interest when you said helicopters. Being a helicopter pilot myself. So I don't know if we call it a parent company, but where the scroll is underneath, Unapologetic Veterans just had a podcast tonight where they had a hunting nonprofit out of Wisconsin, I think it was Michigan or Wisconsin, that takes veterans.
Oh, you're talking
hunting.
about Homefront Set Rep? Yeah, they're our sponsored podcast. That is true. They did have a hunt run. Let me see if I can find the gentleman's name.
And so let me just throw this out there. And you know my philosophy, Josh. So I'll just go ahead and say it out loud for everybody to hear, because once it goes virtual, it's forever. We're not in competition with any other podcast. We're in collaboration. If another veteran podcast is doing one thing, we are not competing for the same audience that they are doing. We are who we are, and that's it. So if somebody else wants to look at us as competition, that's on them. But we have a voice and a story and a mission, and they do too. And they intersect, they overlap, and we are okay with that.
Yeah, so they interviewed Heroes Hunt for Veterans. It's a veterans-focused nonprofit organization dedicated to honoring U.S. military service members by providing fully guided, cost-free hunts. That's pretty awesome. Y'all should check it out. That's pretty awesome. With that, not that side of it. Also, going to be diving into some firearms content as well. Mainly because
we love shooting.
I'm just a Marine stuck in the woods with his guns, so why not?
And I'm just an Army Ranger that loves to send freedom seeds downrange.
Speaking of that, I need to order some more freedom seeds on the internet. But yeah, just kind of branching out and getting into some other stuff, other communities, and tying stuff together and getting out in the community and just spreading the words of people. That's the premise of this show, to bring this full circle. Is it ain't about me. It ain't about him. Like, I'm just a guy. I served in the Marine Corps, did my time. But everybody has a story, and shouldn't have to be afraid to say what you want to say. This is a place where I don't give a shit what you say. You say whatever the hell you want. I do not care. It's your story. We, as veterans, tend to kind of clam up and shell up and stay in our little safe zone, and that's good and all, but how are historians going to be able to tell what really happened, what the experience of these people really were? Matter of fact, I watched a video, or I can't remember if it was a video or if it was just like one of them photo videos of a POW in Vietnam who died while in captivity, but the stories of what he did that were shared some 30 years later got him the Medal of Honor.
Ooh.
Solely based off of word of mouth. But it was everybody that was captured, that was saved, said the same thing over and over again. But if they wouldn't have told their story, he wouldn't have been honored with the Medal of Honor. Right? You've got to tell somebody. Why not us? Just saying.
Yeah. The invitation's open. Come on in.
Absolutely. Do you have any additional goals or things you'd like to accomplish this year?
You're my boss, right? So you're the vision setter. But to that point, that's the thing I like about it, Josh, because we met not too long ago, right? Turns out we had a mutual friend, my nephew, your best friend from the Marines. And with that said, it launched a relationship that bloomed. So I'm completely happy for that to happen. So however you see, and I feel like you listen to my voice, and so when I come up with an idea, I'll let you know.
Fair enough.
I think but to be truthful, I think the trafficking idea was my idea. I don't know.
That was your idea. Well, you kind of have some skin in that game, for lack of a better way to say it.
True.
Again, I can't say too much, but you have a personal connection with one of the people that will be on the show. So I'm going to leave it there.
We'll leave it there. we'll leave it there. But that's the whole point. I think that you and I have enough energy, and we can bounce each other, energy off each other, to know that we can find something in the future. I think 75 episodes is going to be too few. I think we're going to find that
Really?
we're going to knock that. I think we're going to find that we're going to knock that out pretty quick.
Well, let's hope we knock it out. This is number 1 of 2026. So
Sure.
74 more to go. And there is, and pull up the calendar.
I don't know anything about Instagram. I really don't know anything about Facebook. I've been off Facebook so much because I've been on TikTok a lot. TikTok, I really even don't know about that, but we'll get there. So when it comes to these, especially YouTube, I have no clue how that is. So I have to go and rely on the younger people like you to do that. But here's where my strength comes in. I'm going to find us those sponsors.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I'm good with that. As far as programming, to your point, you have some ideas. I have some ideas. I think we're going to equally bounce off each other, those ideas. That's good. I think that to that point, they're going to be quiet, honest.
It's okay.
But to that point, we're going to be able to bounce off each other pretty well. And I think we're going to be able to find something to say and do and get something relevant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, ladies and germs, I went over the 35-minute time hack that I had. See, look, I'm already exceeding my goals.
You know what that means? It's time for bourbon.
There you go. Well, ladies and germs, ladies and gentlemen,
This is water, not bourbon.
Americans of all ages, the Singaporeans, the Canadians, the Australians, the Austrians, the
Finnish, Japanese.
the Japanese, I think, and Belgium.
Oh yeah, the Belgians. That's right.
I appreciate.
Oh, genki desu ka? Oh, sesuburi desu ne. That's for the Japanese.
Arigato gozaimasu.
And for the Canadians, hey.
Hey, don't you know? How's the weather, eh? Hey, what you talking about over there?
So you're too young to know this reference, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I gotta take a leak so bad I could taste it.
Oh, Lord.
That's a Strange Brew reference from the 1980s, I think.
If you think, then do you even know?
Oh, I gotta Google it while we're talking. Hold on.
Well, as always, we appreciate everything, all the love, all the support. We couldn't do this without y'all.
1983.
Look at him. Everybody give him a round of applause. Everybody give him a round of applause. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, please subscribe, like, share, follow. Do all the things that the internet tells you that you need to do. On Facebook and Instagram, it's at the Unapologetic Veteran. TikTok, I believe it's the Unapologetic Veteran Pod, because podcast was too long. I think is that name. Again, please follow, join us on this journey. We're still an infant in the grand scheme of things. There's a lot of goals and ambitions that we have, that I have, to grow, to continue, to keep moving forward. As always, the Unapologetic Veterans Podcast is brought to you by Homefront SitRep, as it scrolls across the bottom. Perfect timing. This is all brought to you by Heroes Media Group. With that, do you have any last words of encouragement for the people?
I'm going to end with this. Something happened recently where some of our best and brightest and most fierce soldiers went and did something in Venezuela. Some of those were the Task Force 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment dudes. They have a motto: Night Stalkers don't quit. Folks, don't quit.
Fair enough. With that, the mission never stops. Stay unapologetic.
We wore the scars we earned in fight. us high.